Welcome back. I'm the Doc of Detox, and this is your live Q&A. I'm your host, Dr. Darrell Wolfe. All right, so this is your Q&A, so if you want, you can start sending your questions in on Facebook, YouTube, Intercom, and first come, first serve. I can only do about probably 10 to 15 questions today because I've got 25 that I already have to answer, okay? I hope everybody's having a beautiful long weekend, okay? And before we start doing the Q&A, I just want to talk about something. So this morning on Facebook, I did a live, okay? And that live was, will smiling make you happy? How about, here's another question for you. Will pouting make you sad? Will getting angry exhaust you? All of those things. Will getting fearful, okay, cause you to make bad decisions and not to be fun with? Okay, so there it is right there, guys. You know what? It is actually scientifically proven that when you smile, the pH comes up in your system. When you smile, you dump serotonin, dopamine, endorphins. When you are full of fear, we know that you dump adrenaline, cortisol, and histamine. So the reality is, we could have 10 people in the same room. The same thing could have happened to 10 people. And everybody's going to have a different reaction by who raised you, what school you went to, what church you went to, who you hung around with. Some of you will punish yourself for 30 seconds. Some of you maybe for 30 years for the same thing, that somebody only punishes himself for 30 seconds. Now, we need to learn to mind our own business, and that's this, that your, physical expressions can change your whole life. So that means that what you do physically will affect you psychologically. And guess what? What you do psychologically will affect you physically. Now understand this. Why does one person feel, so if you're against masks, if you're against the 6-foot rule, if you think that they're coming for your children, if you think that they're going to force vaccinations on us, you can't live like that. Nobody can live like that. Okay? And understand something. Make sure that you're making decisions to vaccinate your children. Make sure that you're making decisions to wear the mask or do the 6-foot rule because you truly believe that that is the good for your health. Make sure you've done your research. If you make a decision out of fear to wear the mask, 6-foot rule, to lock yourself in your home, shut your business, make sure you're not doing it because you are so fearful that you do not want to come up against government or come up against all of these so-called medical specialists that aren't medical specialists. We know that the true medical specialists are being shut down. The true science is being shut down. So don't shut yourself down. Don't shut yourself down. Okay. You need to do one thing, and that's mind your own business, and you need to get your happy on. How can you remain happy and stay happy? Well, putting a slight smile on your face. Yeah, I'm telling you to fake it. I'm telling you to fake it because I'm going to tell you something. If you believe that there's just doom and gloom out there, then that is going to create a disease inside your body. So, will smiling make you happy? Absolutely. And the reality is that you have a subconscious that only runs prominent beliefs programs. Now, if one of your prominent belief programs were, no matter what, I'm going to have a slight smile, stay connected to my breath, my shoulders back, my chest out, and I'm going to walk with confidence. I'm going to live with confidence no matter what. Wow. You're not going to have to deal with the headaches, the stomach aches, the no energy, not being able to digest your food, and not being able to sleep. That is the difference right there. And all because you decided to have a slight smile on your face no matter what goes on. Let me ask you a question. You suffering, does that help the world? So if the world is suffering, you suffering with it. Does the world need your pity? No. Does the world need your pity? No. The world needs your bravery. People need to see brave hearts walking around and talking with each other and holding the loving line for themselves and their family. Now here's the deal. are you going to be okay? Are you? How do you feel right now? Because your feelings matter. The way you feel every present moment is shaping your health, your wealth. It's shaping your life. How do you like being around someone who's easy to get along with, someone who's smiling, somebody who, you know what, they don't dramatize things, and even if there is a drama going on, they mind their own business? Look, I'm the kind of guy that I'm going to take action, and you can tell I take action. If there's something that needs to be done, I'm going to do it. But if there's not something that needs to be done, I'm not going to keep reacting, because I will age very quickly. So things are going to change, and I really believe that we can take our world back, and it can be so much better. And I truly believe that, for me, COVID has so many blessings, but the main blessing that I see is that our world couldn't keep going on the way it's going. And the same people that want to give you vaccinations, want to lock you down, the 6-foot rule, the masks, they're the same ones that are polluting your children. They're the same ones that are polluting the TV. They're the same ones that are polluting the media, the food, the water, the air. Same ones. Same ones. So you can believe it or not believe it. But the reality is we're going to get back to this. Mind your own business. Mind your smile. Mind your breath. Walk with confidence. Focus on the way you want to see your life and stay there. And if there truly is an issue, deal with it. Take massive personal action. But don't be trying to work with things that aren't even existing or may never exist. That's the bottom line. So I do know that they're going to tighten things up. I really hope that my life on Facebook and YouTube still exists for years to come. But understand something. You can find us also on Telegram, okay? And links will be in the description below. Please share it, okay? Please share it. And let's keep freedom of speech alive. So here's my deal. There's people I'd love to have on my show, but I can't have them on my show. If I have them on my show and I put them on Facebook because they have the hard science and it totally comes up against the norm, the new norm, okay, what's going to happen? They could pull my Facebook, or they're going to actually pull my YouTube, and that's not going to do anybody any good. So the reality is I'm going to be bringing people on, and I'm going to interview them, and they're going to be beautiful interviews, and they're going to be so informative, and they're going to be on Telegram. So if you want to get onto my Telegram channel, okay, all right, then make sure that you see the description below, and let's keep moving forward. I mean, there's no censorship on there, all right? And the other thing is that I can actually put something up, and the good part about Telegram that I like is people aren't going to banter at me or swear at me because my beliefs don't match theirs. Now understand something, no matter what, at least 50% or more of the population beliefs don't match mine. And you know what? I love all those people. The reality is just because people don't match your beliefs, you shouldn't hate them. You shouldn't swear at them. Okay? You shouldn't belittle them, because we are the Earth family. All right. Let me go over a couple of things with everyone. First of all, just know this. We're doing a lot of personal treatment and trainings. I've got master trainers in the United States right now, and they're doing personal treatment and trainings. They're going to people's homes because we're catching up with that, where we go into people's homes for a week to 10 days. We teach the family how to do Wolfe Non-Surgical, to go in and do the most powerful body work. That's right. You have the power. You have the mind to do this. We teach you how to think, eat, drink, how to love yourself, and how to love your family well. And that's what our personal treatment and training is all about. When somebody takes our personal treatment and training, they actually get this. This is probably the most professional bodywork book in the world, okay? This book took me 7 years to write and to put together, but an 8-year-old could understand it, and that's the way it's meant to be. You know what? Did you ever notice something? When it comes to health, if they talk Greek, like arthritis, which means just painful joint, colitis, which means inflammation in your colon, sinusitis, inflammation in your sinuses, you know what? they do that. They make it sound complicated because you're just not smart enough to look after yourself. Isn't that the way it's been? We can't look after ourselves financially. We can't look after ourselves emotionally. We can't look after ourselves physically. And all of that's a lie. There's a genius in every one of you. There's a practitioner in every one of you. And I'm going to prove it. All right. I've got another 4 master classes coming out in the next 4 months. And these master classes are going to show you how to take your power back. All right. I mean it. I'm going to unleash the most powerful training, all right? And if they're going to shut me down for anything, they're going to shut me down for these trainings because I am going to help you to become the hero of your story, of your family, and how you can unleash that practitioner from within because we are all practitioners. We all are light energy beings. And you know what? As soon as we start honoring our spirit, as soon as we start honoring our spirit, you'll find out there is a genius in there. Okay? All right. So the next thing is Wednesday this week, I will have the truth about calcium, but it's not just the truth about calcium. It's a truth about calcium ions. Okay? All right? And my upcoming courses, January the 9th. Okay? January the 9th, I will be having, hold on one second here. So my next course is actually February the 13th in Kelowna is my next course. It's a combined course, and it will be Whole Life Coach Certification and Wolfe Non-Surgical, okay? So that's February the 13th, all right? And then we will be in March 2001 in Extapa Palace, the World Training and Healing Center, for our combined certification course. Now we're going to do our 21-day combined certification course where we do 8 days of Whole Life Coach, and then we're going to do 11 days of the Wolfe Non-Surgical. And those who want to stay longer, up until 33 days, right? That'd be another 12 days. We're going to be taking those 2 combined courses and then going in depth about different diseases and how we can take everything we've learned and do that. Because whether you're coming to just learn this for your family or whether or not you are already a practitioner, and I'll tell you right now, who takes our courses? Nurses, doctors, chiropractors, naturopaths. Oh, somebody who's been a mother and raised her children, and now she wants to do her passion she's always wanted to do. Oh, somebody that's actually been in IT for years, or they were doing something else and said, hey, I didn't know that I could actually become a professional practitioner without spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and years in school. Well, understand something. You can. And I've proven it over and over again. Check out our testimonials at itioh.com and tell me what you think. All right? Okay. And then in April, we'll be doing another certification course in Kelowna, British Columbia. So let's begin the show. And thank you for coming. This is your show. All right? This is your show, and I'm here to answer your questions to the best of my ability. Robin, how much vitamin D do you recommend for kids under 12? Well, I'll tell you what I would rather see people do. I'd rather see them spend $1,400, and I would rather see them get a vitamin D light. Go to my website and look at EMF, okay, /light, and take a look at the vitamin D light there. All right, and understand something. This vitamin D light is about 6 feet, and nothing puts vitamin D into the body better than this. And the reality is that it will totally saturate your body with vitamin D. You'll never get overloaded by it. And there was a study done on vitamin D, and I will put that up maybe sometime this week or next week. And this gentleman talks all about vitamin D. And we'll put that up for you, and you'll see how important it really is. Vitamin D is a hormone regulator, immune modulator, okay? It is not a vitamin, okay? So just understand that. And for children, I can't tell you what to do for your child at 12 years old. And if you want to give me a call, or I don't mind telling you what we did for our children. We gave them 5,000 IUs a day. That's what we did. And when my children were actually sick with a cold or a flu, we gave them 5,000 in the morning and 5,000 at night with vitamin K2. Now, I'm not telling you to do that with your child. You do your research, talk to your doctor, you make your own decisions. But for my family, that's what we did. But now we use a vitamin D light. And for those of you who want to information, I will have it up. But we actually have a vitamin D light, and we have a pure crystal panel that's in front of the vitamin D light. And you want to talk about energy medicine. That's one of the greatest energy medicine devices probably in this world. And the reality is we are the first ones to actually make this device. And whether you believe this or not, this device was already out in the early 1900s, and it was actually suppressed and buried because take vitamin D light, run it through a crystal plate, and find out what you got. You have got the power, of light energy frequency that can go in and actually change chromosome, DNA, RNA, help to repair mitochondria. Anyways, that will be up on our website in about probably 8 weeks to 10 weeks. We've got all the science to prove that we're right about this. Okay? And I'll be putting that up for you to see. Robin, can you clap areas that have Botox? Yeah, you can, but the reality is if you do, then your body will detoxify the Botox quicker. All right? And Botox is really unhealthy, but do whatever you want. You know what I mean? It's your body. Brooklyn, hi, Dr. Wolfe. What do you think of EFT? What is EFT? If you've never heard about it before, it's an alternative treatment for physical pain and emotional distress. It's also referred to as tapping or psychological acupressure. Now, I think it's good. Some people swear by it, but nothing touches this. Nothing comes near clapping. And if you want to take a look at clapping, go to my library and click on the clapping guide and watch Clapping Your Heart and Lungs for Health. Now, what I'm doing is in 3 weeks, we're releasing, what every parent should know. And the subtitle of that is How to Become Number One at the Art of Number Two. And then I'm going to be releasing the clapping course. Okay, so that's probably 5 to 6 weeks, if I'm honest with everyone, and as close as I can be, because things always seem to pop in front of it. And then after that, I'll be releasing How to Thrive on Planet Earth. Those are the 3 master classes, and then I have one more to put out, and then I'm going to be redoing Braveheart. So we're kind of busy, but we're going to bring all of this up, and we're going to put all the master classes up on one portal for you to go in there and just feast, to unleash your genius, to unleash your practitioner inside of yourself, but mainly to unleash what? What's this all about? Well, let me tell you something. Anybody that totally loves and totally cares for themselves isn't bothered by what's going on in the world. They're minding their own business and understand something, that their strength will be their family's strength, their friend's strength, and the world's strength. And if you can find your inner strength, that is what's going to take our planet back. As long as you don't have inner strength, then it shows on the outside, doesn't it? That's right, because you forget to smile. Brooklyn, hi, Dr. Wolfe. Okay, we did that one. Mary, can you explain how the water fasting works? Okay. All right. Well, what we do is called advanced water fasting. So understand something. Water fasting is great, but then what kind of water are you using? Okay. If you're using distilled water, like Norman Walker used to use distilled water is not structured water, so it hydrates really poorly into your cells. And remember something, all water that comes into the body must be structured. And this is why we use a structure unit. Even if you have an ozone unit, distiller, or you have like a carbon filter purification system, or a coconut one, or you have any type of filtration system, you still want to structure your water, because that's what nature does. When you structure water, you actually hydrate 1,000% better into your cells, because it takes a lot of energy to actually structure the water that comes in. Like your blood is all structured. All your water is structured in your in the human body, intercellular, extracellular. But the reality is just think, if your body didn't have to do that, how much energy would you save? Okay, can you explain how water fasting works? Well, let's put it this way. If you're water fasting, we use 4 different things mainly. We use Ormus minerals, okay, which is right here. Okay, these are more etheric minerals than they are physical minerals. You can see this in my 6-day advanced water fasting guide, and you'll see that in the library. Just go to Doc of Detox, click on library, and you can go in there. But we use Ormus minerals because they don't turn on the digestive tract. We also use fulvic acid, doesn't turn on the digestive tract. The Ormus minerals gives you that electrolyte balance that everybody needs, okay? All right? Because you really do want to stay balanced with your electrolytes. It's not just on a physical, but it's on your brain needs that when you're fasting, okay? And then the fulvic acid doesn't turn on the digestive tract, but what it does, it'll absorb it'll absorb 3 times its weight in acidity and heavy metals from your inside your cells and outside your cells. But what it does is it carries in up to 40 different nutrients that are lingering in the body into the cells, dumps them off, and then takes 3 times its weight in acidity and heavy metals out. And that's science. That's not me saying that. Okay? And then the other thing that we use is called ATP. This is the only organic ATP. It tastes like sweet, and it tastes like fruity, and it's a 5-carbon sugar, so it gives you tons of energy, but it gives you balanced energy, and it doesn't turn on your digestive tract because it bypasses the Krebs cycle, like I was saying, because it's a 5-carbon sugar. Okay, and then the last thing that we use, give me 1 second here. The last thing that we use, and also we try to get people to use structured water. If you don't, make sure you don't use distilled, and make sure you don't use reverse osmosis because it'll sit in you like a lead cake. So at least use spring water, or you could use electron charged water. But my preference is really structured water. Okay, so that's the things that we truly want to use when we're actually doing a fast, okay? And we also use super cinnamon. We also can use lemon lift and orange burst in our drinking water because a lot of people will not do a fast unless there's a little bit of taste, okay? And that's more psychological, but also essential oils bring up the vibration. And why do you want to do water fasts, and how do they work? Well, they will release more stem cells naturally than any other process that you could do. They will also cause autophagy, which means, wouldn't you love to go in and eat up fat cells? Wouldn't you love to go in and eat up old disease cells, decrepit cells? Wouldn't you like to go in and get rid of wrinkles? Wouldn't you like to go in and get even rid of cells that are mutated? Wouldn't you like to restore mitochondria? Because it does all of that, especially when you utilize ATP or pineal, which also has ATP in it, but it's for people on fasting where they've got maybe a little bit of brain problem or pineal gland problem, or you can use Divine Vine that has lots of ATP in it, but it's for people that have thyroid problems or they have emotional imbalance. So ATP, Divine Vine, pineal, those 3 things can be used. And I showed you the ATP, so it looks quite similar to that. You're also going to use Himalayan salt when you do the water fast. And our water fasting challenge is a 6-day advanced water fasting challenge. Is starting on the 17th, okay, the 17th of September. So if you want to join us, and then that's Thursday. So on Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll be on there for anywhere from 1 hour to 2 hours answering questions. Then again on Friday. Then again on Monday and Tuesday would be the last day because that'll be 6 days, right? Because you got 2 days in the middle called Saturday and Sunday. All right? Okay. So that, let me think here. Yeah. So, and the only other thing that we do, and this is used by people if they really want to rev it up. This is called Merigen. You can take a look at it in my library. Click on the SAC calcium guide, And you can watch the videos. And that's what we'll be talking about with the Truth About Calcium on Wednesday, is about, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different products. Merigen, which is the strongest one. Dentagen for people who are fasting that have teeth problems, okay, gum problems, jaw problems. Megagen for people who are really healthy, but they want to pull any calcium back into the bones, and they want to turn on their bone making and breaking. And then we have Cardigen, which is for joints. Alzagen for people with memory problems, brain problems, Alzheimer's, dementia, things of that nature. And Ozo Jr. for children. Okay, but a lot of people, we sell more Merigen than anything. It's the strongest one. And it's the only calcium product, but it's not, we don't call it a product, we call it a therapy that will actually totally restore your bones. Even if your bones are crumbling and you were on Fosamax, okay, it will actually reverse all of this, because it actually has so much of the calcium ion in it. It turns on the bone making, breaking. It helps to repair the ATP. It helps to bring back proper pH into your tissues, your cells, and the fluid within your body, and so many other things. All right? Now, what I'm going to do, Michelle, if you want to call in, okay, you can call in now. Michelle's going to call in. She has some questions on fasting, and I told her she could call in, and actually I would answer them. So, Michelle, if you want to call in right now, and let me start off and see if she does, and I'll go with another question here until she does call in. Karen, I'm scheduled for a lumpectomy next Tuesday. I'm so anxious and angry that I'm doing this. Well, first of all, Karen, you cannot be angry, okay? Just focus on your body healing. Focus that you have the power to heal. Focus that if you're going to have the lumpectomy, that when they take the lump out, okay, they do a really beautiful job, and they do it with love in their heart. And just know this, even if they do the lumpectomy, love, you know what? If you create the perfect day for yourself on an emotional and nutritional level, it's going to be good, okay? It's in here in your mind. You can't get angry. That's the deal. If we stay calm and if we are logical, that is it. As soon as you're angry, you've lost it all. Because as soon as you're angry, okay, hold on one second, please, Michelle. As soon as you're angry, understand something. Now you're dumping adrenaline, cortisol, and histamine, and that is feeding the situation that you don't want to have. I know this is really difficult, but people that have an autoimmune disease or people that have cancer, they focus on the disease. The disease is just a symptom out of control. You need to focus on where you want to be, and you got to say, look, at somebody says to you, okay, so why are you going to that person? Oh, I have cancer. No, you don't say that. You say, why are you going there? Because I love my body, and I want it to be the healthiest that it can be, and that's what I'm doing. So if you do everything for the love of it, the love of you, okay, you care for you. For the first time in life, you're going to do whatever it takes to really look after this vessel. Do not do things because of a disease, because the focus becomes the disease. Listen to me. Whatever you focus on, you are. Whatever, we talked about that. You know what? If you focus on smiling, I'll tell you, you can't be sad. But the other thing is your subconscious says, well, when this happens, you're usually angry for 3 days. When this happens, you're angry for 3 months. And when that happened with your mother or your father, you're still angry at them. No, change the rules. Change the rules. Remember something. Any dysfunctional belief you have isn't yours. You came here pure spirit. And then you downloaded from 0 to 7 all these beliefs, and these dysfunctional beliefs are going to kill you. They're not yours, and you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to learn how to become awake, and that's why we do the Braveheart Love Band stuff. That's why we do the mirror work. That's why we connect to our breath. That's why we wear a slight smile, put our shoulders back. We walk with confidence. And we focus on what's the goal. I want to have a beautiful, healthy body. I want to be able to handle anything that comes my way and stay calm and connected to my breath and know only to take action, I want to stop having a reaction. I'll come back to your question in a second. Go ahead, Michelle.
Hi, Dr. Wolfe. I have several questions to ask. The first one is, why is it necessary to do coffee enemas when one is doing salt water every morning, the cleansing tea, and getting regular colonics?
Okay, first of all, I know some people aren't going to like this, but I don't believe in regular colonics, okay? I believe that regular colonics are not a good thing. I think that anybody who has a 30-foot bowel movement once a week is not a great thing, okay? And sometimes you can see it. I mean, I ran the North American Institute for the Advancement of Colon Therapy, and I was the second colon therapy school to open up in North America. You know, I wrote a book, and it was a 380-page book, and it was used by a United States Senate group for the study of colon cancer. So I understand all about colonics, and I'm not telling you not to do them, but they should be used more when the bowel's in trouble. You know, when you're dealing with an atonic bowel or it's twisted or you can't go to the bathroom, because understand something, people that can't poop or pee are people that are dying. Did you get that? So you can measure the way you poop and the way you pee by your health. So if you need help from a colonic to dump, then we know that your bowel's twisted, it's toxic, and it's probably lacking tone. So the reality is this, most people, their backs are too tight and their core, okay, all right. So do you ever hear that saying, Michelle, rotten to the core? Well, guess what? Yeah. Almost every North American person is rotten to the core. They're rotten. That's why they got bad breath. That's why their poop really smells. That's why their underarms are really smelly. That's why vaginally, you know, women can even smell stinky like fish. This is all rotten to the core stuff. Eczema, psoriasis, okay, colitis, candida. These are all rotten to the core. The large intestine's the holy grail of everything. I understand that. But here's the deal. If you're doing daily cleansing tea, it's not a stimulant. And just so everybody knows, this is our daily cleansing tea right here. It's not a stimulant. It's not a laxative. And the reality is, it works on what? It works on your large intestine, your liver, your kidneys, your bloodstream, and your lymph. So what we want to do is, wouldn't it be better to do things gently and create a perfect day that doesn't whip your bowel or whip your organs? So I'm going to get to your question. So the salt only works on the bowel. You do know that, right? It only works on the bowel, and it does give you trace minerals, and it helps your electrolytes when you're on the fast. The daily cleansing tea works on all those organs, but the reality is you're not taking the daily cleansing tea on a fast if the Himalayan salt that you take, which everybody, that is just 1 level teaspoon in 15, 16 ounces of hot water. Now, so that is to move your bowels. If your bowels aren't moving, then we tell people, yeah, you can do the daily cleansing tea. You can have more support. But I don't want people taking daily cleansing tea if their bowels are moving with the Himalayan salt. Now, the colonics, when people do colonics, here's what I noticed. And I'll tell you something right now. I taught over 1,000 people how to do colon therapy when I had my school. Here's what I noticed is that people use colonics because they have lazy colons, and they're not lazy, but they don't have enough faith in themselves to change and create the perfect day. So what happens is the colonic becomes the crutch. How's that?
Okay.
All right.
Okay. What supplements can you take while fasting?
Okay, I just went through them. The ones that I know. Okay, so right off the bat, I talked about the fulvic acid because it won't turn on the digestive tract. And let me ask you a question. You don't want to take supplements, okay? If you took a supplement, that means it needs to be digested, correct? And that means you're going to turn on your digestive tract. And the reality is we want the digestive tract to go to the Bahamas. We want it to go on holiday. Here, just take a break. Did you know that if you eat 3 meals a day, the energy for those 3 meals, you could have walked 10 miles. That's how much it takes to walk 10 miles, is to digest 3 meals. Now, so far today, I've done a blender drink, and I've drank about maybe 3 or 4 quarts with fulvic in it and SAC calcium. Of course, I did my supplements a little while ago, but the reality is I'm just going to have a large salad tonight. Now, understand, I got up at 5:30 this morning. How does that happen? Well, you can't change like that overnight. And that's why we tell people to do intermittent fasting, do 1-day fast, and then try to see if you can do the 6-day fast with us and just do 1 day at a time, right? And see how you're feeling. Now, if you do the fulvic acid, and I know our fulvic acid, the molecular size, and it's not chemically made, it's physically and mechanically made. So we know that there's no chemicals in it, and we also know that it's going to go in and it's going to bring out 3 times its weight of heavy metals and acidity and chemicals you don't want in there. And the reality is with fulvic acid, it doesn't drag it out kicking and screaming. It locks it down in the molecules so that you don't have any symptoms or side effects. So you're not taking more energy from the body having to deal with something like a detox. The next thing is the Ormus minerals are more etheric than they are physical. They don't turn on your digestive tract, and that's for electrolyte balance. Okay? And the ATP and the pineal and the divine vine, they're called life crystals. They were developed by Dr. George Merkel. He was known as the Einstein of food medicine, where he took things like tea and organic teas and fruit, and he put them in these crystal cylinders that were like 15 feet, and he put them in a semi-dry desert, and he left them out there for like 5 months, and they percolated, and they created these life crystals that actually regenerate tissue. But because it's a 5-carbon sugar, it bypasses the Krebs cycle. It doesn't turn on your digestive tract. So how would you like to have the only organic ATP, creating lots of energy, helping to heal the ATP, or heal the mitochondria that creates the ATP? Because understand something. When you are sick of any illness, your mitochondria are damaged. Mitochondria build ATP. A 75-kilogram man needs to make 85 kilograms of ATP every day to stay healthy, and that's not happening today. Between blue light, between 5G coming, but 4G right now, and all the chemicals that we're dealing with, we're not doing that. And that's why people are so bloody sick. So those are the products. We don't need anything else. And if you can do the structured water, great. But understand something. What gets you through an advanced water fasting is doing things like the belly button therapy, the clapping, right, which I talk about, doing skin brushing, doing salt glows, doing the pelvic activation squats, or doing the pelvic expander, and taking 5 minutes out of every hour, connecting to your breath and doing the Lionheart breathing, 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out, and just allowing your mind to be a river. And no matter what comes by, if it's beautiful, grab it and own it. And if something comes by and it's like, oh, the end of the world or vaccination, you just let it float down the river and let someone else deal with it. Understand, when we learn how to master our mind, when we learn how to train our own brain, okay, we can get through a fast. We can fast forever. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. People need to eat because they think they need energy, and the reason they don't really need energy, they need to learn how to calm the heck down and mind their own business, because people don't understand that their subconscious is 90% of their brain. It rules schools and fools everybody today because, you know what, corporations, the system, all these systems out there, the government, they know that repetition is how you teach people. That's how I teach myself, through repetition. The reality is, am I doing it or are corporations doing it? And you'll know because the person has an autoimmune disease. You'll know because the person doesn't have any confidence or courage in their own life. You'll know. You see it. So that's where we're at. So when it comes to fasting, understand something. It's not how much you do, it's how much you don't do. And if you're going to do an advanced water fast, or a water fast, understand something. You don't have to take our products. Do what you want. But the reality is know how to say no to your family. Make sure you have a meeting with your family and you go, nothing will be brought into this home except what? Love. And healthy, vibrational, whole plant-based foods during this time. Okay? Because everybody needs to honor what you're doing. Don't make a phone call if you don't need to make it. Don't go running over and doing extra things. Don't take extra things done. Try to shut down as much as you can for that 6 days and see if you can be with yourself. See if you can be totally patient and see if you can totally be with yourself. You know, how many people can be with themselves, Michelle? A lot of people can't stand it. They got to have the TV on, the radio on. Who am I going to call? I need to check my Facebook. I need to check my Instagram. Okay? Monkey mind. All right, next question.
Okay. The Himalayan salt in the morning, does it have to be in hot water?
Okay, it doesn't have to be in hot water, but understand something. If I give you a bucket of cold water and I give you a bucket of hot water, which one's going to cleanse the house faster?
The hot water?
That's right, because it opened things up. Now, the problem is with human beings is this. Between, having an inflamed mind, which means that you have beliefs that they bombard you. They create anxiety. They create worry. Okay? That inflammation creates mucus. Believe it or not, the inflammation, any issue in your body was first an issue in your mind. So inflammation is first in the mind before it's in any part of the body. If you have the same thought, same vibration, that inflammation, if it's repeated enough in the brain, it will show up in an organ or a certain joint or a specific spot. Now, inflammation, is dangerous. It can cause mutation. It can cause ulceration. It can cause disintegration of the tissue. So what's the body do? Create extra mucus. So when you get up in the morning, I'll tell you right now, everybody, whether they're doing a fast or not, should be drinking hot water first thing in the morning, no less than 15, 16 ounces. And you know what? Drink hot water through the day if you've got a mucus problem. Drink hot water through the day if you've got a COVID problem, which is just a cold. And if you've got a cold, you've got mucus. Do you see? So hot water melts things. And then, yes, if you put the Himalayan salt in, it'll go in deeper. It'll do a better job. Okay?
Okay. What can one expect to feel when fasting for 6 days?
One can expect to have their life turned upside down and feel like hell if they do not mind their own business. So stay off TV. And like I just went all the rules and I told you that this is where you get to. Would you really like to get to know Michelle? Would you really like to get to know Michelle? You have to be quiet.
Yes.
You have to be calm. Now, would you say that Michelle is calm? Would you say Michelle is peaceful? Would you say that when things go wrong in Michelle's life, does she react or does she take a breath and she goes, how can I take action to help this? And if I can't, I will mind my own business. Is that Michelle?
Not really. I have a hard time letting things go.
Okay, so that means you're constipated. So on a physical level, you can't poop either very well. So if we can't let things go on an emotional level, then it's hard. We're trying to squeeze out a nugget because you're not, let me just say this. You're not willing to let go of your crap, Michelle. And the reality is this. You are still a little girl and you learned from your father or your mother that if you have a tantrum long enough and strong enough, you're going to get your way. Now that worked when you were a child, but that's not working today. So you better learn to let things go and go with the flow. Now here's the deal. I said let things go and go with the flow, and I'm talking about crap. I'm not talking about honoring. Never let that go. You always honor yourself. You always respect yourself. You always protect yourself. And you expect that from your family, and you let your family know you will give them the same thing. But the reality is this. I've got basically 6 kids. I've got lots of people I have a relationship with. With my children, they know I'm here. They know I'll support them. They know I'll take action, but I still mind my own business. The reality is when they come into my house, I don't want them drinking alcohol or getting drunk. All right? I just don't. That's not happening. All right? What's normal out there is not normal for me. And I'm not some kind of strict father. I'm not. I'm the opposite, because I want them to experience life, and I want them to understand that people are going to fall down. And understand something, Michelle. Every time that you try to get your way with someone else, it doesn't work. Every time that you try to change people, Michelle, it doesn't work. If you were to take all that energy, whether it's your husband or your children, and put it into yourself and become that shining light that they look up to and go, wow, Mom sure has it together. When everybody's falling apart, she's connected to her breath and going, is this something we can do? Or if there's nothing we can do, we'll mind our own business. Okay? And she doesn't tell us how to eat. She just looks after herself and eats right. She doesn't tell us we should exercise or do this or do that or do this. She just does it. But the reality is, if you've got children living with you, I get it. We must get rid of judgment. If we don't get rid of judgment, we don't get rid of punishment. Our society is built on judging. There is no justice out there. There is no justice out there, so you might as well forget it. What you think about justice, I call it just totally toxic, okay, and abusive. So we have learned, if you use the systems out there as a marker, that's justice, and it's not. I'll tell you what justice is. Honoring, loving, and respecting yourself, and doing that with others, and saying to them, you need to do that if you're in this house. No, that doesn't come in here. No, you're not doing that, okay? But at the same time, I've got adult children that live with me, Michelle, and I let them go and come as they please because this is their home, but they must only bring love home. And if they are upset or they're moody, come and tell me, and we'll talk about it, and let's work together about it. But don't walk around here and think that you can take somebody's head off, or that you can, what couples will do is it's like almost like with men anyways. I'm not going to say women, but I know this with men because I've been dealing with this long enough. They can't wait to get home, and it's not like they're thinking this consciously, but they could never take it out on anybody but their family because nobody else would put up with it. They'd end up in jail. So the reality is we got to learn to wipe our mind off at the door and stop abusing our families, but we won't stop doing that until we stop abusing ourselves. That's it, Michelle, in a nutshell.
Okay. What if one is concerned with losing too much weight?
Well, okay, first of all, people that have high anxiety and are stressed out could never eat enough because they're burning up inside. And when you do a proper fast like this one, you don't lose weight. You don't lose muscle. You lose fat. You lose scar tissue. You replace the calcium back into your system. Okay? You lose cellulite. Okay? You lose diseased and dysfunctional cells. That's it. Now, could a person drop under their weight? Yeah, but that's not because they lost muscle. They had fat, or they were retaining water and they looked bigger than they actually were. Are you with me so far? This doesn't cause muscle loss. So you may go a little bit under your weight, but now it's like, Michelle, you stopped working out 10 years ago. So, the reality is people don't lose weight when they get older. They lose muscle because if you don't use it, you lose it. If you don't work it, it's gone. So that's it. When I do 20 minutes of exercise in the morning and at night, I feel amazing. I feel stronger. I feel toned. I got this. And there's periods where I've been working on projects for so long and really intently. If I don't do my exercise, I feel flabbier. I feel like I'm softening up. I feel like my muscles going away because that's how it is. Go ahead. You know what? Do you know how many people come to me and they're in a wheelchair, but their spine is not cut? They're in a wheelchair because they were first a victim. A victim not because they have a victim attitude. They do, but it's not their fault because society Oh, well, if you've got that, we can't do anything for you. Okay, well, I'll just sit in this wheelchair. And then the wheelchair becomes their friend. And then their family says, go and see Dr. Wolfe. And the reality is we can go in there and get rid of all the scar tissue, but then we've got to build the muscle back up, because if you didn't use it, you lost it. So the muscle has to build back up. And understand something. If you don't work out and do things like belly button therapy, pelvic activation squats, pelvic expander, and then do like core twisting or the things that I talk about, you're not going to keep your tone, and you're not going to be able to lengthen, strengthen, detox, and tone. That's what life's all about. So if you don't do, if you did 20 minutes of exercise every day, did right exercise, which I'm going to be doing a video within the next 6 weeks. I'm going to show my whole exercise program. I'm just waiting for this white screen to get here. Then we're going to walk through it all. Right, Sean? We're just waiting for that to come in, and then I'm going to show you the whole protocol, and I'm going to put it up in my do-it-yourself guide in my library. The reality is, if you don't want to do 20 minutes of exercise, just know that you're not going to have muscle tone. And don't think that fat is muscle tone, and don't think that water retention is muscle tone. And the reality is this: you got to work out. If you think you're already skinny, you got to work out. And why do you want to do that? Because if you work out, you're going to calm down. Because when you work out, you release hormones that actually calm you down. And if you've been running an anxiety program, Michelle, since you were a little girl, then you're going to need some help. Okay, you're going to maybe need to get like a perfect day emotional counseling, maybe get a perfect day nutritional counseling, and then create that perfect day, and then we'll guide you. Look, everybody, we charge $125 to create a perfect day for you. You get the audio, it's 1 hour long, and then we will answer your questions for the rest of your life with no extra charge, because we know what we're doing, and we can guarantee it that if you follow through, you'll have the perfect day. And then once you have a perfect day, you repeat it every day, you got that perfect health. Your body will respect and honor you when you respect it. Don't tell me that people work out or eat right, think right, because they just don't, because nobody else does in the family. It's a hit and miss, isn't it? What do you think, Michelle?
Yes.
All right. So take a look at the relationships you have, Michelle, with your husband, your children, and they have with you, and you'll find out that you're pushing each other's buttons. Now, are you pushing love buttons, or are you pushing angry buttons, Michelle?
Hopefully love buttons.
I didn't ask you for a hopefully. I said which ones have you been pushing?
Love buttons mainly.
Good. You're on a roll. Do you have any other questions?
Yes. Can one do natural treatments like infrared sauna during fasting?
Oh, yes. And here's the deal. You've got to make sure that you were hydrating. And if you're going to do the infrared saunas on fasting, then you're going to need the 4 products I told you about. And if you don't want to do the SAC calcium, you're going to need the ATP. You're going to need the Ormus minerals and the fulvic. And you definitely want to get a structure unit and do structured water. Why? Because it hydrates 1,000% better without any energy on the body. I mean, you know, when I talk like this, people will come on and go, oh, well, that's a bloody infomercial, doctor. Well, I'll tell you what, everybody, then I won't talk about product. I won't support you. And guess what? And you can go do a water fast and see how well you do. Okay, the reality is this, is that you've got years of my training and my practice. And you know what? Why can't it be easy? Why can't we get 10 times the results and have it 5 times, 10 times easier? I mean, why does everybody have to suffer? Okay, so we all are taught that if you want something amazing in life, you got to suffer for it. And that is just the wrong thought. Okay? So what was your question again? Oh, infrared saunas. So if you want to do an infrared sauna, here's the deal. You ready for this? How would you like to do an infrared sauna and get 1,000% more toxins out in that sauna? You're going to skin brush first. Yep. You're going to take a natural bristle brush and you're going to skin brush your whole body. Why? Your skin is the largest organ, and you're going to get all the dead skin cells off, and you're going to make sure that you have a little bit of a pink glow to it. So you're going to really skin brush fairly hard and cause a little bit of hyperemia. That means bringing blood to the surface. Now what are you going to do? Well, if you really want to rock the show, Then what you're going to do is you're going to go and you can go to Costco, get yourself a 10-pound Epsom salt, and then pour that into a big plastic container. It doesn't have to be 10 pounds. That's just the way we do it because we do this a lot. And then you're going to wet it down to the consistency of sand. If you can do it with structured water, that's great. Then what we do is put either Pain Away in or Muscle Restore. You can put your own essential oils in, okay, and put lots of them in. And then you're going to go in, have a little white stool in the shower, go scrub your whole body. Your joints, really focus on them, on the joint areas and the cellulite areas. And you're going to focus on that whole area, all the body, even your breasts, even your face, everywhere. And then you're going to have a nice shower. Hopefully it's a structured shower. And you're going to wash off all of that Epsom salts, okay? All right. So now, what have we done? What have we done? Well, now we've really brought the circulation up. We've stimulated the lymph system, the blood system, and all the tissues are like they're alive. So now you're just going to pat yourself dry, go into your infrared sauna, make sure you're drinking water, okay? Make sure if you have, drink structured water while you're in there, okay? And that's how you're going to do it. Now, when I'm in the sauna, that's when I do my clapping. So now the areas of the body, listen to me on this one. This is a good one. Remember something. Any place you're in pain is called a physical block. Do you get that part? Any place in the body, whether it's an organ, whether it's a joint, whether it's a tissue, muscle tissue, doesn't matter. It's a block. Now, what if I just did the skin brushing and I did the salt clay and I had a structured shower? Now I'm in the sauna, and guess what? Now I'm really starting to melt things, and I start clapping the areas that have displaced calcium, scar tissue, whether it was from a cesarean, or it's just scar tissue in my knee, or scar tissue in my elbow, or scar tissue in my neck, okay? Or I even had wrinkles on my face, or wherever the case, or I was losing my hair, okay? I would clap that area. And that's why I'm going to be doing the clapping. Most of it will be done, but within 4 weeks, you guys will have the whole show. The whole master class will be up. I'll show every part of the body. Now, and you're going to clap that area. And you're going to clap that area, and if you bruise in a certain area that you're clapping, it means that the tissue, okay, is rotten. Did you get that? People that bruise easy,
Yes.
okay, are rotten to the core. They are already diseased, okay? So if you have like if you go red from clapping, I'll go red, but I don't bruise. I don't bruise on my body. I swear I don't bruise, no matter how much I clap. And then people who bruise without banging into things, well, they're already on their way out. And that's a bad sign. The other one is if you have trouble pooping or peeing, you're on your way out. And I don't care. I'll come up against any doctor out there on these situations. Because you know what? If you go to the average, even natural health practitioner or medical doctor, and you bruise, they'll go, "Oh my God, he bruised you. Oh my God." No, I didn't. Healthy tissue doesn't bruise. End of story. So if you've got bruising, that was us actually releasing the dis-ease deep within you, which is either calcium, scar tissue, okay, or crystallization, or all three of them together. So once we break that physical block, we increase the flow. And then just like, they say that poop always floats to the surface at some time, it comes to the surface and it shows you the color, whether it's a light purple, dark purple, black, green spots, red spots. Yeah. So that's it. So there you go. That's how you do a sauna. And remember something, to do that sauna, make sure that you're supporting yourself with energy medicine. So that would be the fulvic. That would be the Ormus minerals. Okay? That would be the SAC calcium. That would be the ATP or the pineal or the divine vine. All right? Any other questions?
So do you drink that while you're in the sauna?
Do I drink what? Oh, yeah, you can do anything while you're in the sauna. And the reality is what happens when people fast, they go into a sauna and they have a hypoglycemic problem because they're a sugar junkie or a flour junkie, or they have a prescription drug addiction, or they have a drug addiction, or they have an alcohol addiction. That's why they feel oozy in the sauna, right? Listen, I have a Finnish sauna down here, which is amazing sauna, and we've got a wood stove, and we've got the electric, and we got the rocks. So, yeah, you're going to drink while you're in there. You're not going to gulp, but you'll drink. You know, before I do a sauna, I'll take a little bit of ATP, I'll take my Enemas minerals, or I'll do my SAC calcium. Of course I'm going to, because the energy flow from the sauna and then the clapping, it's a must. If you're in a sauna and you don't clap, oh boy, you have no idea. If you got a sauna, you start clapping in there, call me and tell me what you think. You're just going to go, oh my gosh, Dr. Wolfe, that is beyond Thunderdome. Okay. All right. So in the society, what do we do when we have a pain? We don't do anything, do we? We go and we get a treatment from someone, right? So guess what? Good luck with getting well. You can't go to a practitioner and think you're going to get well and stay there. You're usually only good to the next treatment. You got to become the practitioner. You got to nobody gets well unless they take massive personal action. There's too much toxicity out there and too much misinformation. Okay. Go ahead, Michelle.
Okay. How toxic is a person? I've done the salt brushing before going in the sauna, and I just used my bare hands with the salt because I don't have the salt brush in. And after about 20 or 25 minutes of skin brushing just with my hands, I started to sweat.
Well, doing skin brushing with your hands doesn't work. And you skin brush dry. You don't skin brush in a sauna. You clap in a sauna.
I skin brushed in the bathtub.
What does that mean? In wet?
I didn't have a skin brush, so I just used my hands to...
No, love, it's not the same thing. You're rolling skin off, yes. You're rolling skin off, but it's not the same thing. You're talking about two different things. No, you can't even compare the two for the results. Go ahead and do the hand. That's why we got it. But once you do dry skin brushing, you'll find out the difference really fast. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Can you have fresh vegetable juice or water only on a fast?
Only on a water fast. If you're talking about a vegetable juice fast, that's a vegetable juice fast. On a vegetable juice fast, you can just do that, or you can do your other regular supplements like Sinonian minerals or the curcumin cayenne 5000 or HGH. You know, you can do all of those things. You can do the black gold, but no. When you're on a water fast, you can only do things that aren't going to turn on your digestive tract. Okay? That's the whole deal. That's why they're so powerful. But the reality is we can do a water fast now with those few products I just talked about without turning on the digestive tract, but turning on the stem cells. Let me tell you something. SAC calcium, okay, turns on stem cells even if you're not on a fast. And when you do a fast with SAC calcium, it just turns it on more than anything I've ever seen. ATP will turn on stem cells. The Enemas minerals will help to do that. But even if you were on a water fast and doing nothing, you still turn on your stem cells. But they don't really get turned on until usually about the third day. So, you know, that's when you start to see things revved up. That's why people have a problem with the third day of doing a water fast. When they hit the third day, things are shutting down. And that's when people go, oh, I don't know if I can make it through this day. So that's why we start the fast when? When do we start it? Thursday? Right. So we're going to start it on Thursday, I think it's the 17th. Yeah. Thursday the 17th, we'll start the fast. So that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That means Saturday or Sunday, you're going to go over what we would call the hump, right? That's when you're going to kind of hit the wall a little bit, but at least you can go lay down, you can connect to your breath, you can do your pelvic activation squats, your pelvic expander, the more you do your belly button therapy when you're fasting, the more you release all the healing hormones. Nothing releases dopamine, serotonin, and the healing hormones than belly button therapy. So, and the more you connect to your breath. So we want to get over the hump on the weekend, and then we'll come into Monday and Tuesday, and we'll finish up by Wednesday morning. Good?
Okay. Can you do sacred salt under your tongue? Is that a good idea to do all
Yeah.
the time?
Let them melt. Let them melt under your tongue. Not all the time. Don't do it all the time. No. Because you're doing it all the time, you're going to trigger the saliva in your mouth, which might trigger your digestive tract, right?
Okay.
All right. We're a little pinch, a little pinch here and there, but see, that's what I was talking about. Is some people need to have something in their mouth. You can always tell people that have anxiety because they're always asking to put something in their mouth. Do you know why? Because as long as they're nibbling, as long as they're keeping their mouth busy, their mind calms down a little bit. So we know that's people that have a monkey mind, right? And you got to get rid of that because that is the worst disease in the world. So somebody like that needs to stay off the news, stay away from gossip, and only focus on what they want to become and what they want to see in their life. And that person really needs to work on it because they're not just terrorizing themselves, they're terrorizing their whole family.
Okay, just a couple more questions. I am really good at fasting, but I have real problems detoxing because my body often goes into a healing crisis.
You know what?
What can I do to alleviate this?
Well, can I say something? After our conversation here, it's your monkey mind. You don't have trouble. You don't have trouble detoxing. You have trouble calming down, and you don't calm down. And even when you've calmed down, you're not calming down. You're running an anxiety program, which is continually dumping, just dripping, not dumping, dripping adrenaline, cortisol, and histamines into your body. And that's why you have trouble detoxing. You have trouble detoxing because you can't slow the horses down. And even when you think you've slowed down, you haven't. You need to really practice, okay, on your Zen, on your You really have to try to get there. You know what? I'm a high energy guy, but I know how to go right into the most peaceful place, even if there's chaos going on around me. Can you do that? Because if you can do that, then you can own it. And wouldn't it be nice to own it, Michelle? And the reality is,
Yes.
your mind is the landmine that's causing these detox problems. And that's it. I will bank my reputation on it.
Okay. I am already detoxing, just drinking the salt water in the morning for 2 weeks.
So what do we know about you? We know that you are running an anxiety program. And I'm not trying to pick on you. Because guess what? You're only like 99% of the population, okay? Your case could be worse than most or not, but the reality is look at 99 out of 100 people are running an anxiety program. You know what? I mind my business. And if there's something I can do to take action to help someone, I'll do it if I need to do it. Remember something, and here's the deal, Michelle. If it's real, you'll be taking action. And when you're taking action, you don't have anxiety. And when you have anxiety and fear, it's not real because there's no need to take action. You made it up. Yeah, but that's not true, Darrell. They're going to come and kick our door down, take our kids. Hey, listen, focus on what you want and then start making massive personal action at being the Braveheart for your family. And what does that look like? Because if you get into a fear situation, you don't make any decisions. And if you do, they're not that smart. You know, the thing is I got to tell you this, Michelle. What if I were to tell you that what is in your mind is only 1% of the potential that you have? What if it was only 1%? And I'm not kidding. It is only 1% because I work with infinite potential of myself. And every day I strive for more potential from myself and to be more in the present moment and own it. That's where you need to be. That's what you need to work on. Okay? You really, truly do. I'm giving you a gift here. And understand something. Most people will never pull this off. But I will tell you, if people do my Braveheart course and then even do, if you really want it, you do my whole life coach certification. Understand something. If I told you that you could own and master your mind and put in the beliefs of only empowerment, just empowerment, do you think that that would change your life?
Yes.
Let me tell you, you haven't even started yet. And I mean that in the nicest way. You haven't even started by the things you've told me. And it's okay. I get it. You know what? Every manual you get out there, whether it's emotional, nutritional, physical, or anything, it's all corrupted. I mean, don't get me wrong, and I'm not poo-pooing on people, so please don't attack me for this. But do you know another practitioner like me? I doubt it. And I'm going to tell you something. I strived real hard, and I worked hard on myself, okay, for the last 30 years in the trenches with myself, minding my business and going, ooh, no, that's not me. No, you're not getting away with that, Darrell. It's not happening. We're replacing this thought with a new one. There's a new sheriff in town here. So understand something. I earned the right. And that right is to be in the present moment and to own it. And understand something. If it's not me, you better find another practitioner that lives like this. And good luck. They're like unicorns. There's a lot of people out there that got certificates. They call themselves doctor. And you know me, I'm just a fake doctor. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just a natural health doctor. Understand something. But I'm not a fake doctor. But in the eyes of the government, I'm fake. But the thing is guess what? I'm more real than anything, because nature is what we came from. And nature is what we need to return. And your nature is to totally believe and have faith in yourself. And once you get there, Michelle, you will have no detox problems, love. None at all.
Okay. Thank you, doctor.
You're welcome, love. Have a beautiful day.
Okay.
Bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So, back to Karen, lumpectomy. I'm plant-based and holistic, but feel I need to get the tumor out, triple negative. How can I find peace with it so I'm not waking up at 3 p.m. panic? There it is, girl. And I'll tell you something right now. Depending on what breast it is, it will depend on what breast it is, will depend on where you have a problem with your relationships. Try to think about this. Left breast is mainly with your childhood or with your children now. Okay, the right breast with significant other. Think about that, okay? Next thing is that you cannot have need a lumpectomy unless you've got a lump that is calcified and scar tissue, and that means you had tons of inflammation in your body. That means your lymph system's jammed up. That means you've been backing up in your bowels, and you had to have filled up your pelvis, okay, with inflammation. I can't show it, but one second. Well, anyways, everybody knows where your pelvis is. So the reality is this. You've absorbed the waste from your large intestine, filled up your pelvis like a poop soup bowl, okay? And then that goes into your bloodstream, and your lymph system is supposed to dump into your colon. But when your colon is messed up, okay, and backed up, you don't dump your lymph there. So you back up in your lymph nodes, back it into your breasts, and who knows? You know, the lump is usually here, okay, or here, and it could have been from a wire bra, and you don't need an antenna to pick up better reception underneath your breast. That's EMF poisoning. And then you could have been wearing an iPod or a phone in your jogger, and that could have caused it too. Now, but it doesn't cause it, it just makes it worse. Because the true cause, everything must happen from the invisible before it's the physical. End of story. When I come out with the emotional intelligence of cancer and disease, that masterclass, I will prove my point totally, that if you take a look at, and you didn't say that you had a breast problem in your left breast, you could get a brain scan, and you would be able to tell from the brain scan that you've got cancer in your breast. Go figure. I get the medical system doesn't talk about that, do they? Okay. So understand something, and please, I'm not telling anybody to come here. But the reality is if you learn how to do the perfect day and you reduce the inflammation and the infection in your body, think about it, then you're not growing any fibroids or any tumors or taking the calcium from your bones. And with Wolfe Non-Surgical, like I showed you before, 1 second. This is my manual that I wrote. It's called Wolfe Non-Surgical. I put it together when I was 27 years old, this technique. And we can go in and we can reduce a fibroid, okay, that could be the size of a large plum. I could reduce it by 30% in the first half hour. You heard what I said. The reality is this. It's scar tissue. It's crystallization. It's calcification. It's not all mutated cells. So understand that. When somebody says you have a tumor, it could be just a fibroid, which there's no mutation. Or if it is a tumor and there are cancer cells in there, it's not the end of the world. I'm not telling you to go to your doctor. I'm not telling you not to have surgery. I'm not telling you not to do radiation. I'm not telling you not to do chemo. But the reality is, until we want to take massive personal action and go in and reduce the inflammation by reducing the infection, by fixing the colon, by detoxifying the liver, then guess what? You're always going to have these problems. And don't you think for one moment that they want you to have a manual that's going to teach you on a perfect day, because understand something. It's like this, okay? Go after the bowel, cripple the bowel, large intestine, 85% of your immune system, reabsorb the waste, and guess what? How could you get infection or inflammation throughout your body? I know it can happen mentally, but it happens really from the large intestine. Now, when that happens, what happens when you get inflamed and you have pain? Well, the first thing you're going to do, because you don't know what to do, you're going to take a drug to numb it down, which is going to cause more toxicity. So now, even though you don't feel the pain or the inflammation, it's still going on. It just broke the gut-brain connection. So the gut-brain connection, when it's broke, you don't feel the pain or the inflammation, but you still have it. You heard what I said. So drugs are I understand if you want to take them. But the reality is pain is supposed to be your friend, not your enemy. Go out and attack it and see what happens to you. Okay? All right. Okay, Darrell, calm down. All right. So now, I find peace with it, so I'm not waking up at 3 p.m. Well, that's right. You're panicking. So you've got to do all the things: skin brushing, salt glows, pelvic squats, pelvic enhancer, belly button therapy, learning how to smile. What if you had a slight smile on your face and you did the love band, life band? I got this. I'm better than this, right? That's not true. I'm going to focus on what I want, not what I don't want. You know, take a look in my Braveheart guide and take a look at the 4 Braveheart self-loving steps. And if you like that, look at all 12. And if you can get through that video of all 12, go join my Braveheart for free. At the end of today, I'm going to show you all the things I give you for free. Okay? All right? Abram, how long does it take to clean the liver with coffee enemas? Well, it depends on how much anger and hate you've got, and how many addictions you have, and how long you've backed up your bowel, and how many antibiotics you've been taking. So that's the deal. The deal is to get started. The deal is to call me. My extension is number 5. I don't mind you calling, but I would get a whole life consultation for $125. And like I said, I look at the case history along with the master consultant. They consult you for an hour, send you the audio, okay? And then you've got lifetime free calling with us. But at least we've got you that strategy. Hey, listen, don't you think that Bill Gates and Fauci, okay, the World Health Organization, haven't strategized this for the last 50 years for this, what's going on right now? So the reality is, we know when you build a really good strategy, you can own it. It looks like they own most of us now, don't they? So would you like to own your day? Then you got to know how to create the perfect day from the minute you wake up till you go to bed until you rest that beautiful head. You know, why would you ever build up toxins in your body to have a fever, to have a cold or a flu? Okay? They say they're natural, but I don't know the last time I had a cold or a flu or a fever. I mean, the reality is if it's not garbage in, why do you need garbage out? So that's mentally and physically. Odette, what is the best program you can suggest for COPD, doctor? Well, first of all, bowel, liver. Then I would suggest that you get some Wolfe Non-Surgical and get somebody to go in and open up your ribs so that you can breathe again. How would you like to, in an hour treatment, have 30% more lung capacity and then get rid of all inflammatory products like dairy, like flour, like sugar, okay? And then is there anybody sitting on your chest? Odette, do you have a husband that is holding you down, feels like he's sitting on your chest? Because it's emotional and physical. And I'm not blaming your husband. I'm just saying these are the things, right? Because everything happens emotional before physical. So why aren't you breathing? Were you a smoker? Okay? Do you drink alcohol? You got to take a look at all these things. And remember something. The lungs are related to the bowels. Okay? Okay, and there's other things you can do too. And like I said, I don't know what to say, guys. People don't want to opt in. They want to just give me a Band-Aid, because you're having the same idea that natural health is like medical health, where you take a pill and you're numbed out. It isn't that way. You go in loving your body, and then you're patient, and you allow it to detoxify and regenerate the tissue. That's what we want, and that's why we created the Perfect Day consults. Maria, can you please talk about nail infections? Well, they're fungal infections. A nail infection is a fungal infection. And if you've got nail infections in your fingers or in your toes, that means you've got fungal infection throughout your whole body, which means that the yeast inside of you has turned into fungus, because yeast, we need it, but it can turn into fungus, especially if you've done antibiotics, or you drink non-organic milk, cheese, yogurt. That's a real problem. Okay? So, because why? Because they're loaded with antibiotics. People say, I haven't been on antibiotics since I was a kid. Well, do you eat cheese and dairy? Do you eat animal products like, do you do fish like that's not wild? Do you farm? Do you do chicken, meat, pork that is organic, free range, grass-fed, or is it farm? Because if it is, you've been doing antibiotics every day. If you're a meat eater, if you're eating dairy, that's it. That's the end of it, guys. And then that's just going to keep feeding the fungal infection continually, undermining you, because antibiotics vibrate below zero, so they turn on the death vibe, which is fungus, and then the fungus drills holes through your large intestine, and then that goes into your bloodstream, and we call that systemic candidiasis. And then when you have it in your fingers and toes, that means you have it throughout your body and in your nose. It's everywhere. So you want to do your strategy properly. So you can do things to get rid of the fungus on the fingers and the toes locally, but you got to go in and repair the large intestine and even the last part of the small intestine. Okay, Vivian, my 85-year-old mom is in the hospital with recurring water in her lungs. Water in her lungs. Okay, they got to put out the fire, right? What do firemen do when they go to a fire? They got to water it down. So it's got to water down her lungs. So what are you going to do to get rid of the mucus congestion and the inflammation? And can you please just get the cork out of her butt? Because when the lungs are in trouble, your mother is constipated. And if she's not constipated, that means she has diarrhea, which means that it's like a volcano and the body goes, just get it the hell out of here. So then it takes all the water it can and gives the person diarrhea. Doctors say, okay, she's got hypertension. Well, she's got hypertension because she's backed up in her bowels, and that's a major block. When you've got a physical block in the body, your heart has to pump harder to get through that dam. Doctors say there is nothing they can do. They're right, because if they can't use drugs and if they can't do surgery, they don't believe in diet, they don't believe in detox, they don't believe that there's any physical blocks in the body. So they're right. They are treating her with diuretic drugs that make her sick. Of course, all right, because guess what? They want to bring the water retention down. I get it. But the reality is there's only water there because there's a forest fire. And if you bring the water down, she's going to burn up. Let's get rid of the infection, which will get rid of the inflammation. Okay. And her lungs are being attacked right now because she's full of it all the way up to her lungs. Do you understand? Do you understand? Her liver's jammed up, her colon's jammed up, her lymph is jammed up, nothing else to fill up except those lungs. I hope I helped. How can we treat her naturally? She also has osteoporosis, which means osteoporosis just means she's been on fire forever and she's been pulling calcium out, and the calcium's caught in all her organs and her joints, so she's as stiff as a board. Arthritis is just inflammation of her joints. We already talked about that. Due to the infection and due to the calcium that's being pulled out and the calcium being displaced, because your joints are like a river with a bend. Where do you think all the garbage is going to collect? In the joints. That's why she has arthritis. Has large ganglions on her wrist. Yes, she has ganglions because what happens when there's too much inflammation, not enough circulation, you grow these ganglions, which are like hard scar tissue. That's all they are. And then they wrap themselves around things, and it's not great. That happens too when you get like a cesarean. After a cesarean, because surgery causes more scar tissue than anything else, it'll grow 2 to 3 inch long kind of like tentacles on it that will wrap around organs and stop you from pooing, making love, bladder problems. Yeah, it goes on and on. On her wrists and her gallbladder issues. Gallbladder issues. Yeah, well, get her on a whole plant-based diet. Let's start detoxifying the colon and liver and take the pressure off the gallbladder. Rita, one of my friends has swollen gums. Most of the dental implants he got last year came out one by one. Some parts of his face are red, and he got more marks in his arms, legs, and they look like eczema. His bowel, okay, he's rotten to the core. His bowel, he's got bowel rot, okay? His bowel's rotting, and like a screen door in a submarine, he's absorbing all that waste into his bloodstream, and that's why he's got the eczema, because it's oozing out. It's oozing out of his body. That's how much he's absorbing. He goes to the bathroom every 5 minutes, and for that reason, he doesn't drink water. Well, the reason, okay, dude, okay, if I was in your situation, you got to clean your colon, you got to clean your liver. You go to the bathroom every 5 minutes because you're reabsorbing so much waste that not only, okay, where's the bladder? Do you know where the bladder is? Okay, so we got the descending colon, sigmoid, rectum, anus. So the bladder sits right in front of the sigmoid, right here, and that guy's blocked up, absorbing waste that's getting into his system, going through his kidneys, but also infecting the whole area. This whole area is rotting out in his pelvis, and it's rotting out his bladder. Do you think it's not inflamed? So his bladder, every time it just starts getting a little bit, as soon as it starts getting a little bit of urine in it, it says, I'm inflamed already, don't stretch out. So then he's got to go and go, a couple drops, that's it. Okay, so this guy could turn around, but I would tell him to get a perfect day consult, and I will tell you, we will do amazing things with him if he wants to take massive personal action and decide to be his own practitioner and take his life back. That's the deal. And I would tell anybody too, just so you know, yeah. If you want my book, Healthy to 100, you can get it for free. Just pay the shipping. Okay, you can check that out if you want. You read this book. That'll give you the foundation, and then tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about, and tell me an 8-year-old couldn't understand this, and tell me it's not logical, okay? All right, you need to take your life back. That's what we need to do. Anna, what do you think about drinking celery juice? 1 second. Celery juice in the morning. I think it's fine. I have for over 1 year, but still having digestive problems and body pains. Well, that's because here's the deal. You've got a 20-foot hole and you've got a 5-foot ladder. You don't have the perfect day yet. Watch my stuff, read my stuff. The more personal action you take, the more you're going to turn your life around. Okay, I got to tell you, you can like me or not like me, but the reality is I'm the real deal, and I'm trying to help everybody out there. Bailey, I have questions about DCIS. This is the presence of abnormal cells inside milk duct in the breast, stage 0 breast cancer. Yeah, so guess who's backed up in her bowels, backed up her lymph system? You did. My mom was diagnosed with it, scheduled for surgery next Wednesday, has to do 5 sessions of radiation afterward. Let me tell you something. The mind is more powerful than anything else. This situation is not genetic, it's epigenetic. You believe that what your mother's going to get, you're going to get. And that's only because they drove it down our throat since the beginning of time. It's not genetic, it's epigenetic. Okay? And that's been proven. Lynn, how do you get rid of arthritis in your feet? That just means inflammation in the joints. That means that all you're doing is piling up lactic and uric acid crystals in your feet because you're not drinking enough water, the right type of water, whole plant-based foods, doing the daily cleansing tea to clean out the bowels, or doing the ultimate coffee enema to flush your liver out. I mean, you'll go and change the filter in your car maybe once or twice a year, but when's the last time you changed the filter, which is your liver? Coffee enemas? It's called the ultimate coffee enema, everybody. And when you take a look at it in my perfect day guide, and you do that, call me, tell me how it's going. If you need help, we'll help you along the way. But the reality is, did you know that that was in the Merck manual, which is the medical manual that all doctors get, up until 1972, and they pulled it out. And now today, if you go into Wikipedia, it says it's dangerous to do. Wikipedia, you can't trust Wikipedia. It's all managed by corporations, drug corporations. And understand something, till 1972, everything about the enema was in the Merck manual and they pulled it out. Don't believe me, do your research. Okay, Marguerite, have you ever heard of anybody having blood come out of their belly button? Do you understand what that could be from? Yeah, it's from your bowel, and you got ulcerations going on. And also, I want you to smell the blood and tell me, call me, just between me and you, it's going to smell like poo. Okay? So the thing is you've got ulcerations going on. And why would you ever have an ulceration unless you didn't have infection that created inflammation that caused an ulceration? That's what's going on. Lorraine, can you get rid of a Baker's cyst behind the knee? Absolutely. So I had it drained many times. Yeah, but it's going to come back. The reason why you got to drain it is because that's the fluid. That's to keep the inflammation down so it doesn't become hard and calcified. Okay? So what? If you want, give me a call. I'll teach you how to do some clapping. You can use DMSO rose cream, and you should also be using Pain Away essential oil on it. But understand something. Take a look at your bowel. Why is it in the back of the knee? I already told you that the knee is like a river, okay? So things collect. And if it's in the back of the knee, it shows you've got a lymph congestion problem, and that's the Baker's cyst. Call me if you want, but everybody, I suggest you get a consultation. It's $125. If you're not over the moon about it, we'll give you your money back. And you know what? You get lifetime support from us. The reality is here, what if we could actually build a program and help thousands and thousands of people so they don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars, so that maybe they could just love themselves well and take time for themselves. We are taught to do for everybody else, everything else, being everyone else. Let's be ourselves, and let's totally love ourselves well and give everybody else in our family the approval to do that. Okay? Let's just give it a shot. Helen, I cannot really do clapping with my clapper because I develop hives on my skin whenever I do it. What do you recommend? You're going to start slow. And this just shows you how stressed out you are and how much of an anxiety program you're running. Okay, so take a look at your diet. Take a look at what you drink. Is that structured water? Is it enough? And what are your relationships like? And how scared are you? Okay, are you scared to live and scared to die? Where are we? Caught in between the middle here? Okay, because hives are from stress and from acidity. So it can be an acidic diet, but it's usually an acidic riot, which is the mind. Anna, I have had a colonoscopy and was not able to continue the process as I was blocked up in the right colon. Need to go back for another colon? No, you don't. Go ahead. Colonoscopy. Guess what? You want to know something about colonoscopies? Guys, give me a second here. Okay, colonoscopies, 50 years ago, the medical system said, stop doing them. They're dangerous. You're going to cause problems in people's bowels. Don't believe me. Do your homework. It's been months now because of the COVID restriction, and I have not been well. Well, if we can get the cork out of your butt, love, then you're going to be on a roll. Daily cleansing tea, tummy love, black gold, drinking structured water, and doing blender drinks of berries, okay, with maybe almond milk in them, and make yourself a beautiful strawberry shake and do that twice a day, or a blueberry shake. Just go and look at, everybody, please go to my Perfect Day Guide, go to page 30, and look at from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. the Perfect Day Diet. Okay, could you do that? And that's the type of diet I eat 85-90% of the time. All right? I am having a lot of discomfort in the upper digestive tract. Yeah, but that's because guess what? You're ready to blow, girl. You've got a manure pile down below. And guess what? Every manure pile gives off gas. Hot air rises. Let's see what else you say. Upper digestive tract area, and I'm trying to do many things to loosen my bowel movements. I am worried that I have dysfunction going on at the moment. I am very anxious. Thank you. Guess what, sweetheart? You're like all of us. We are all programmed from 0 to 7 to attack ourselves and sell ourselves off by the pound emotionally and physically. That's the game. Don't you see it? Come on. The government can't do anything about the poisonous water we drink or the air we breathe or the food we eat. Their hands are tied. That's because they're not your government. They're someone else's. Corporations own them. Wait a minute. No, corporations are owned by the elite. Oh my God, isn't that who's trying to save us right now? There you go. Answer. Marlene, what can I do for MCL torn ligament in my left knee? I'll tell you what, don't have to go any further. You come here. If you get yourself here, I'll give you your first treatment free. We'll do it live, and we'll show everybody that I will do a half an hour treatment on your knee, and you'll go, oh my God, I can't believe this. Okay? All right. I don't care, but well, I do care. But remember this, everyone. I have on my website that we'll give you a money-back guarantee that the first treatment we do will override everything you've ever done, and you will know that you don't have to go to surgery, that your body will heal the cartilage. The cartilage will grow back, or the cartilage has been calcified and it's still there, one or the other. And when they say it's bone on bone, let me tell you something. We have had nobody go to surgery for a spinal problem, knee problem, hip problem, ankle problem, wrist problem, elbow problem, shoulder problem in years. Osteoarthritis in my neck, spine, and lower back. She's losing calcium like crazy. She has an acidic diet and acidic mind. And feet and hands. I am in pain every day. Yes, you are. And if you want to come here for 1 week to 10 days, we will reverse that by 80%. You heard what I said. I've already had a total left knee replacement. That's right, because it became calcified beef jerky. So guess what? We could have got and turned that beef jerky back into beautiful connective tissue and cartilage, and we could have put the calcium back in your bones. And right hip replacement. Of course you did. And guess what? I guarantee you, everybody, had bowel problems since she had a diaper. I don't want it anymore. I don't want any more surgeries. I'm not able to take pain meds as they bother my stomach. Well, they've eaten your stomach out because you've taken too many. And you're so stressed out that you're dumping hydrochloric acid in your stomach, so you're already nauseous. I was told by my doctor I was definitely need knee surgery on my left knee. Well, guess what surgeons do? What do? Tell you to go home and eat a better diet? Tell you to go get Wolfe Non-Surgical? Do they tell you to do the things I'm going to do? No. They believe in surgery, medication, radiation, chemotherapy. There we go. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's what they do. This is what we do. So you got to decide what you want. You know, everybody picks the therapy that they vibrate at. And to come to me, you'll have to love, honor, and respect yourself and say, I'm going to love myself totally. But most people are scared to come because you're programmed to attack yourself. Like, that's not obvious for most. When I get older, I'm 68. Like, what am I supposed to do until I get old? I'm not old yet. I know that. Come to us. I'll give you a money-back guarantee that will put more than a smile on your face and will outdo anything that's been done, and we'll go further than you've dreamed. Cheryl, do you have a list of practitioners who does the procedure that I can go to in Florida by any chance? No, I don't have any in Florida right now. We are training all the time. There's areas we have them and areas we don't. We will be going to Florida as soon as, as soon as that. I don't even want to say. Stacy, can you help with a patient with pancreatic cancer who has already had chemo? Why do we think the body doesn't want to heal? Why do we think that God hasn't created the most healing mechanism on the planet? Why do we think that we're going to heal if we don't know how to create a perfect day on an emotional and physical level from the minute we wake up until we go to bed? And nobody has that. If you have that, you would have your health. God did not make junk. Man makes junk. That's why we call it manipulation. Peggy, what are your thoughts on cleansing with turmeric? Well, turmeric, you'll be there till the cows come home. Turmeric has 5% curcumin in it. Our curcumin product is 95% curcumin, which means you'd have to take 20 times more turmeric. And then we have 8% cayenne, African cayenne in it to trigger the curcumin, which makes it 50 times more stronger. It takes too long. That's all. You can do our curcumin cayenne 5000 and you'll see things happen quick. Kathleen, hey doc, can too much milk thistle cause shakiness? Well, I don't know. It all depends on, we have it in our daily cleansing tea, but we have no harmful side effects. It's the blend, how much is in it. I don't know. It could, and it's not going to do it in everybody. So you need to understand that. That person who's already shaky, if they took too much, maybe it'll make them shaky. Leslie, can mass cause high blood pressure and vertigo? Boom. You hit it right on the head. Okay? Absolutely. Tracy, how do you release emotional trauma, heartbreak from 2 marriage breakups? Both wife beaters. Now, here's the deal. You went and married those wife beaters because of the beatings you took as a child. Okay? You would not have married a wife beater unless that was what your subconscious said. That is what we call love. I will go into a home or I will deal with families. And right now I've got about 8 families I'm dealing with on an emotional level, the whole families, because they're tearing themselves apart. And when I get in there, they know there's a problem, but they actually think they know what love is. And they don't have a clue. Boy, for people, love is something that hurts. And love does not have to hurt. And love will always hurt until you stop hurting yourself. And what do I mean by that? When you're willing to fill up your own heart with love and you look in the mirror and go, hold on one second. And you go, Tracy, I swear, from this moment on, I will love, honor, and respect you unconditionally before anyone else or anything else, so help me God. I will monitor what I'm doing, and if it is not unconditional love, if the food isn't high vibrational, and if my friends are toxic or anything else, I will change my life starting off right now. I will make those changes. That's it. So you got to do the mirror work, the personal connection if you're single, the Love Band, Life Band, the Lionheart Breath. Get going. It's in the Perfect Day Guide. And also start doing the pelvic activation squats, pelvic expander, the tummy, the belly button therapy, skin brushing, salt glow, and clapping, and you'll rock that thing. Lou, good morning from Australia. Doc, a good friend of mine just opened up to me that he has type 2 diabetes. Yeah, it's adult onset diabetes. He has to inject insulin 3 times a day. Well, that's a real hate program. I'll tell you that right now. And he has a terrible diet, and he's totally stressing himself out. what is the first thing he needs to do? Well, yeah, he should call and get a consult for $125. He'll fill out the case history. Then he can pick the therapist. I would go to Dean if I were him. And you'll see it if you go on my website, Doc of Detox, click on consultations, click on Dean, and then you'll fill out the form. Dean will call me. We'll walk through it together. Dean will do the consult, and then you have free access to Dean and myself. That's how it works. So create the perfect day in every way, and you'll turn around type 2 diabetes. Chris, oh, and also get him to do like super cinnamon is drinking water. That'll help him out. But, you know, there's other things he needs to do. Chris, and you know what? I just keep repeating myself when people really need to take personal action when they have an autoimmune disease. An autoimmune disease means what? What does it mean? Attacking oneself? Yeah, on an emotional and physical level. Chris had a colonoscopy and endoscopy 10 years ago, haven't been the same since. Now, you look at this. I just talked about colonoscopy. How's that for ruining you? Okay, got infected with Lyme, which I treated with frequency meds, did well, but I've had chronic reflux since. Then definitely seems like a hiatal hernia. Well, that's bowel rot. Understand, you don't get a hiatal hernia from helping the wife move the couch. So forget it, guys. You don't. What it is you ever see what's sticking out? It's your intestines. And that's because you've been leaking waste from your large intestine, and it rotted out the peritoneum, okay, the peritoneal lining, and then until pop, there it goes. It tears right out, okay? At least partly causing the pain, left upper quadrant. Okay, what did I just say? Okay, guys, okay, do I know what I'm talking about? Left upper quadrant's right here. That's a sigmoid. What did I just say? Okay, and this is where the inguinal is, right here, down in the pelvis area. And guess what? So you got the descending sigmoid, rectum anus, and right here is where the poop chute gets clogged, and right there is where he's got his what? Hiatal hernia. I mean, not hiatal hernia, inguinal. Oh, and he's got a hiatal hernia too. Okay, now hiatal hernia, 1 second. Hiatal hernia is up here. And this is because you get a hiatal hernia, because why? Just hold on, I got to squeeze this out. Okay? And guess what? You can't be squeezing. And remember, this is the same guy who had the colonoscopy 10 years ago. So if he had a colonoscopy 10 years ago, we know he's been constipated for 25. So he's been trying to squeeze out those dry little poops, right? Rabbit poops forever. So now what you do is, you've got right here, okay, you've got your diaphragm. The hiatal hernia is right here. Okay? All right? So what he's doing is he's taking his diaphragm and pushing it down. So what happens? Well, the diaphragmatic hole right here, the valve pops up above it. It's supposed to be below. So now part of the valve right here, okay, is above. So now when he gets acidic, the acid gets to come up through the diaphragmatic hole, and it's burning him, and he has a hiatal hernia. So now I guess what we got to do? No, I don't got to do it, but if he was here, he could walk in, okay, and it would take me usually 20 minutes. So the first 15 minutes, I'm going to go in there, work on the scar tissue around the area, and start loosening up the calcium that's built up because it's so acidic. You got all scar tissue in there, and then the calcium comes in to put the fire out, okay? So what we do then is we're going to go 1, 2, 3. I use Wolfe Non-Surgical, and I get right where the valve is, and one quick movement, boom, and I pull it back down underneath the diaphragm. That's how you do it. But for now, if he's got a hiatal hernia, he probably has heartburn all the time. You better be looking at doing some baking soda, a teaspoon maybe, I'd say mid-morning, and again in the afternoon. And then if you ever start to feel like you've got acid, irritation throughout the digestive tract, ready for relief, appears that I have low stomach acid. Yeah, but you have too much acidity. So see, stomach acid is hydrochloric acid, and you get low stomach acid of hydrochloric acid when you have too much acidity. Just started iodine yesterday, gave up gluten and dairy. Good for you, my friend. Acid foods years ago. Anyway, would love to know if your group could restore my gut, even if hiatal hernia present. I just told you I could. All right. Okay. Now, let's get to here. What's the best to detox my liver and inside all organs? Well, first of all, get a perfect day consult. That's a loaded question. Because, can I say something? Everybody has physical conditions, but we need to understand the condition you're in up here to understand the condition down here. You got to get that. This came first. Okay, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Okay, all right? So we got to see the condition you're in emotionally and then see the condition you're in physically. And look at the ultimate coffee enema for your liver. That's in the Perfect Day Guide. And get yourself on the daily cleansing tea, tummy love, and black gold. Just do those 4 things. So understand something. When you want to get the water out of the tub, what do? Well, you pull the cork out at the bottom. And that would be your large intestine. Get the cork out of your butt. Drain your liver that's been purifying your blood and doing over 500 jobs already. Let's start there. But the reality is, get a Perfect Day consult, $125. Okay? And you guys got to get this. When it's all said and done, we're making about $17 off of this. So that's not where it's at. The reality is this. I don't care. There's nobody in the world, there's no practitioner in the world that doesn't want success, right? And I knew that if I didn't do this, we're not going to have success. If I don't give you a strategy, then you're just going to go from hole to hole, Band-Aid to Band-Aid, okay? Lisa, what can I do for mucus and asthma? We talked about that earlier, Lisa. We talked about a lung problem. Please go back and watch. Okay, but asthma, usually you'll always find that with anybody who's been vaccinated. Mucus, inflammation causes mucus. Where's the infection coming from, Lisa? Okay, bowel, liver. Again, we're back to the same story. If you don't want, it doesn't matter what condition you have in the human body. If you don't want to start with the colon and the liver, good luck with that. If you got a kidney problem and you don't want to do the colon and the liver first, good luck with that. It's not going to work. Okay? Work from the bottom up, guys. Bottom up. Okay? How do I help my daughter get rid of her eczema? Well, what you do, Bill, is you would stop giving her sugar, flour, dairy products, processed foods, and you get her on the daily cleansing tea, tummy love, and black gold. Give me a call, Bill, tomorrow, extension 5. I'll help you with your daughter. I promise. And we'll turn it around. Eczema is a fungal problem. And how much antibiotics did she get, Bill? And how many foods have antibiotics in them that she's eating right now? And is she a little stress monkey? Are you, Bill? Because usually if dad is, kids are, right? Because they don't just dream it up, okay? Guy, I'd like to know what to do about my 8-year-old's bumpy skin to the cheeks, backs of arms, thighs. Bowels, dude. Bowels, 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 bowels. Get them off all the inflammatory products. They told me it is Keratosis Pilaris. Yes, vaccinated until the age of 5, but no more. We use Dr. Bonner's for bath. We don't use toxic creams. That's great. But is he on daily cleansing tea? Tummy love, black gold. Okay. Is he lightly doing skin brushing on his body? Okay. These are things you want to take a look at. Guy, give me a call. I love children. Children are our future. And, you know, those poor little devils, not devils, those poor little guys, let me tell you something right now. We got the government coming after them. We got the elite coming after them. So we should stop coming after them and we should start protecting them. Give me a call. All right. Margie, what is good for stenosis of the neck? Well, Margie, I'll tell you something. If you can get here, I will work on your neck for free and we'll do it online and we'll show people that in 40 minutes, you won't have that stenosis. It's scar tissue and calcium wrapped around the spine of your neck, and it's choking it off. That's stenosis, and you're gonna love this, eh? So, anyways, you go to a surgeon, okay, or a specialist. Well, Margie, you've got stenosis, and we can see that around C5 and C6, the nerve is completely dead. So, I don't know what we're going to do about that, Margie. Well, it's not dead, Margie. It's calcified and scar tissue, so he can't see the nerve, so he believes it's dead. That is not a true story. Your nerves don't die, they get choked off. Just letting you know that. And I will be showing things about clapping, and I will be showing, I want to do one next week, and it's called The Plate. And I do this, and I love this, and it's amazing. I'm going to show you guys so many tricks over the next 6 to 9 months, because you need to have these. You should have had these a long time ago. You need to get your power back, and it was stolen from you. And I'm going to give you so many things to help you. Okay? All right? Because I'll tell you something. The joy is in giving. So I will give to you everything I can, and then you promise me that you're going to give this to everybody you can. That's the deal. If you have a low thyroid, is the fulvic acid good to take? Absolutely. Lori, when on water fast, number 2 is liquid with sand spots and is gold colored, mucus normal. What is going on in the body when this happens? Well, for one thing, it's called detox. So when we go on a fast, some of the weirdest, wildest, stinkiest things will crawl out of our body. But would you rather have them stay in you or come out? That's like when people, start doing cleanses, they'll go, oh my God, I can't believe it. I got a 18-inch tapeworm. And I said, wow, that's cool. So, that's great. What do you mean that's great? Well, it's great. It was feeding off of you. Or I saw all those pinworms in there. Or I saw precancer fuzzies come out. I go, that's great. Better out than in. And guess what? Attitude, gratitude, altitude. That's what it is. Okay? Let me see here. Jackie, hey doc, how do you help aging skin? Well, Jackie, I'll tell you. First of all, take a look at our Ocean Essentials, because fatty acids are a really big issue when it comes to your skin, okay? And love the skin you're in by doing, skin brushing, salt glows, and they're in my book, okay? How to skin brush, how to do a salt glow, is in my book. Oh, and listen, if you've got cellulite or you got skin that's really tissue that's really stubborn or scar tissue, you can take a cup of Epsom salts, wet it down to the consistency of sand, put a little bit, one level teaspoon of cayenne in there, mix it around, and then only scrub the cellulite area. Don't ever do it all over your body. It'll drive you crazy. Just do the cellulite area or the stubborn area. If it was your knee, and your knee is arthritic, or they say they want to do surgery, you're just going to call me up and go, oh my God, Dr. Wolfe, this is so amazing, right? And you really will. So you're not going to do that all over your skin, okay, love? Okay, Jackie? But you are going to do skin brushing first. Then you're going to do the Epsom salt glow, and I told you they're in the back of my book under beautiful skin, okay? And then you're going to do clapping, love. And you're going to take lots of Ocean Essentials, at least 5, 3 times a day. You can also take the curcumin cayenne. And remember something, Jackie, you need to get this. What do you think is the mirror of what organ? It's your large intestine. Your skin is the mirror of your large. Look at my skin, 64 years old. That's my skin. And, I can see some wrinkles coming here, a little bit of wrinkles, but, I'm 64 years old. It's all part of the old aging thing. But the reality is that I'm not getting old, but I am getting older, but I'm not getting old. And if you don't want to get old, then take a look at getting your colon, your liver, the essential fatty acids, the Ocean Essentials, the curcumin cayenne 5000, and then do these things here and get off of inflammatory products and stop drinking alcohol. That'll age you. Or smoking. There's another one. How can lower hemoglobin and increase How can I lower hemoglobin and increased red blood cells? Jackie, can you send that question in and I'll do it next Monday? It's not making a lot of sense. Jackie, can you be healed from an autoimmune system that is attacking the thyroid? Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? That is beyond anxiety. Okay? That's Thunderdome stress. So guess who's attacking the thyroid? Not your immune system, Jackie. You. Now, are you doing consciously? Probably not. Were you terrorized as a child? Probably. Almost every woman, and it's women, don't you just love it? Okay, men get the heart attacks, fart attacks. Women get the thyroid problems and the nervous disorders. Well, that's because men are so brutal most of the time. So the reality, Jackie, is you got to take a look at it and ask yourself, how scared of you of life? How scared of you are of men? And maybe you can't remember, but you were probably terrorized as a little girl, and you've been running that. And now with COVID and other things or anything that happens, like if somebody passes on or someone gets cancer, how do you react? How do you respond? Start putting a little mini you on your shoulder and going, your little mini you goes, whoa, Jackie, chill, Jackie. Why did you respond like that? Whether someone passes in your family or someone gets a really bad disease or there's a car accident or there's a bomb that goes off somewhere, Jackie, mind your own breath. Stay in the present moment. Put a slight smile on your face. And why don't you just love Jackie? Why don't you just start protecting her with self-love and self-care? The world doesn't give a crap, Jackie. Okay? It really, truly doesn't. And when I say the world, I'm not talking about your family, but even your family doesn't know what to do with you. They're not trained. Your friends don't know what to do with you. You'd be better already. You don't even know what to do with yourself. And the world, as far as systems go out there, they help to create this. Let me tell you something. Men, if there's any men out there watching, okay, just know this, that men are so corrupted as children the whole way through. And that's why we're in this problem. Take a look at it. You might have the odd woman that's psycho, like, I forget what her name now is. Tam. Yeah, Dr. Tam. And she's a Canadian doctor for the government who says, listen, everyone, you must wear a mask when you have sex or make love to someone. I mean, what next? A blindfold plus a mask. Okay, so understand, you want to wear a mask, you go right ahead. I'm not doing it. I'm never doing it, okay? I'm not wearing a mask. So anyways, I've got this hoodie that's got this really tall neck on it. So I have to go catch a plane. So when I go to catch the plane, I'll just take my hoodie up and put it here while I'm on the plane because I got to get to where I got to go to. But I'm not wearing no diaper on my face. And with my hoodie, it's all beautiful cotton and it's loose. So, they can't say anything to me. So at least make yourself comfortable. Why do you want to look like everyone else? They want us all to be faceless, expressionless. Whether you believe in COVID or not, that's not the point. But the reality is think outside the box and stop saying yes to things because you're full of fear. Come from a place of courage, and then if you decide to do something that they ask you, make sure it's logical. And if it's driving you crazy or making you feel less than you are, you might want to question it. Okay? All right. I want to thank everybody for joining me. We ran over time, but what else is new, Darrell? So Wednesday, September the 9th, the truth about calcium, but it's really the truth about calcium ions. Okay? And what else do I want to say? Let me see. I already told you about my free book. If you want to get it, you can order it. Just pay the shipping. Don't forget, everyone, every Monday you can join me for my DocTalk live Q&A. What I'm going to try to do this week is try to do like maybe 2 or 3 questions that come in. They'll give them to me, and then I'll do that. And I'm going to be on the road this week, so things will be a little bit different, okay? And don't forget, like I do my Q&A, so you can send your questions in. Those I don't do during the week and put on Facebook and Instagram and up on YouTube. I will be doing next Monday, all right? And remember that you can watch me on YouTube, Facebook, and Intercom. I am going to be putting a lot of things up on Telegram. I put them on things I can't put on Facebook. I put on Telegram and BitChute, okay? Like the controversial things, the things that are not politically correct. When watching, though, on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe below. Make sure you click on the bell to enable notifications so that you never miss a show. All our shows and our Q&As are time-stamped, everyone, so that you can find your question easily, so you don't have to watch me go blah, blah for 2 hours, right? And that's done on YouTube. Also, if you wish to listen to the audio version of any of our shows, please just go to iTunes, Spotify, or SoundCloud. I just want to say this, everyone. God bless you, and truly God bless you. But understand something. You have to take your own power back. Superman's not coming. You are the hero of this story, okay? And guess what? We're all actors. You decide hero or victim, okay? At any given moment, check in with yourself. Ask yourself where you are. Are you in the present moment? Or are you way in the future worried about something? Or in the past regretting? Don't regret about things. Just know this, you're beautiful. You've done a great job. You've come down to a planet that is a life-challenging, fun-filled adventure for the whole family, where everybody lies and cries and justifies. And just know, considering they gave you manuals that are half lies or even more, you're doing a great job. Now, let's see if we can find the truth. And the truth lies within. Remember, there's a genius and a practitioner in there. God bless everyone. 3, 2, 1. You got this. See you again. God bless. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.